but I actually think that following your passion is a stupid advice. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. On this channel, I share my tips and tricks to help content creators and online entrepreneurs grow and monetize their audience and influence online. So I've been blogging for the last 3 years, but it didn't always come naturally to me. At the beginning, I honestly didn't know anything that I was doing, and I was basically just writing out my thoughts as I would in a private journal, which is an absolute no. In this video, I'm actually going to be taking you through the step-by-step behind the scenes of creating a blog that can actually make money one day for you, that can actually be converted from just a channel for you to express your creativity to actually make money online. Because let's be honest, if a blog doesn't really make any money, it's not really a business. It's not really a career. It's not really something that you can travel the world with, that you can actually sustain and do full-time in the long run. So, step number 1 to actually figuring out how to start a blog that makes money is to pick a niche. Now, there's a lot of advice out there on how you should pick a niche and that you should just follow your passion and so on and so forth. But I actually think that following your passion is a stupid advice, because I did this when I first started my first blog, which was called Indian Girl in Germany. And although I had a decent size of readership and audience, and I had grown the blog to about 20,000 readers a month, I realized that even though this was my passion, this was not something that I could actually sustain and create into a business in the long run. So a blog doesn't just have to be something that you love talking about. You could love music and yet make no money from a music blog. The second tip that I have for you when you actually start a new blog is to sub-niche. So first, when you've picked up something which is not just your passion, but is also a profitable idea, where there are products and services being sold, where there are existing bloggers and influencers, where there is a demand for the kind of content that you want to create, and where there is a certain number of market pool that is available to you to actually target. Because if no one's showing up to your blog and no one is buying your products or services, it's going to be really hard for you to make money, at least not the kind of money that will enable you to live full-time and live out your dream lifestyle. Yes, you can make a couple of $100s doing any kind of blog on the internet that you even have passion about, but you won't be able to build a sustainable business out of it. And that's what I'm trying to teach you on this channel and on this video, how to create a blog that actually makes money. Now, the second thing that I said is to niche down. And when I say niche down, is basically try to think of a smaller segment which you can target, which will actually have less competition so that you can much more easily stand out in your niche. Now, for example, when I say make money blogging, it's actually a huge niche. So just the idea of making money blogging through affiliate marketing, through advertisements, through digital products, through services, through coaching, through sponsorships, blah, blah, blah. There are so many things that you can do in one niche, but there is only one you. At the beginning, when you have no team and just limited resources and limited time, you want to make sure that you're investing your energy and your time and your effort into picking a niche that actually makes sense for you, that actually is a smaller niche that you can target and dominate. Because when you're not able to dominate in search, whether that's on Google or that's on Pinterest or that's on Facebook, anywhere that you're trying to promote your blog, you're going to have a hard time growing and reaching more people. So for example, what's a sub niche? So let's say that I started my travel blog, Indian Girling. The broad niche is travel, right? It's a travel blog essentially. The broader niche could be lifestyle, because lifestyle covers everything. And the sub niche that I picked was Europe travel. So it was a destination travel blog. And the sub niche that I picked was a budget Europe travel blog. So the people that I'm trying to target are basically essentially millennials in the age group of 25 to 34 that have a steady 9-to-5 job, that take 1 to 2 international trips in a year, that have a limited budget. So they're budget conscious, but they definitely are experimental and they want to travel more and they want to experience more in Europe particularly, but on a budget. So this is how I identified my niche. And of course, it wasn't clear to me at the beginning. You have to start somewhere and then just keep evolving and modifying based on the kind of feedback and audience response that you get. So the way that I figured out my sub niche was actually based on the response that I got, because I saw that all of the content that I put out related to Europe travel and how to travel Europe cheap, how to book trains and how to do the visa things, and all of these things did so well on my blog. There was so much traffic that I was getting on these posts that I decided that I'm gonna focus and sub niche down to be a budget Europe travel blog. And this is how I built my audience to over 300,000 page views in about the first year of starting my blog. Step 2 is to figure out how and where to get a domain and a blog host. So a domain is essentially the digital address of your website, right? So for example, for me, my domain for my travel blog is indiangirling.com. and my domain for my marketing and my business website is digitalempires.co. Now, these are domains that I searched that I wanted to relate to my brand and that I wanted my brand to be remembered as, and this is how I picked these domain names. So of course you can go on GoDaddy, or you can go on Namecheap, or you can go on SiteGround or Bluehost, any of these different places where you can buy a domain and a host at the same time. Now, the reason why I would recommend you to buy a domain and a host at the same time is because it's way more easier to set up the whole tech, to not have to change all of the server locations and all of those things that come with buying a domain and a host separately. So once you've figured out what your niche is, you know what your brand name is, you know this is the domain name that I want to have. Check the availability of it on GoDaddy.com or Namecheap, and then see if you can buy that domain along with hosting. And hosting is basically where your website is hosted. So now that you have a digital address, you need a place to put it out there on the internet, on the World Wide Web, right? And this is where hosting comes into place. So there are websites like Squarespace and Wordpress which actually give you these free hosting plans. But I think that if you're trying to be a long-term blogger, it really pays well to have a self-host, especially a shared host at the beginning, which is about $2 or $3 a month. So it's not a big investment at all. You can start with plans for 12 months or 24 months with SiteGround. I'm going to link in the description box below everything that you would need to start your profitable blog, right? So step number 2, as I said, is getting the right domain and the host. And this is also important to figure out right at the beginning, because if you start with a crappy domain name, it's going to be really hard to change that. And trust me, I've done this because I migrated some of my stuff from indiangirlingermany.com to indiangirling.com, and that was painful as hell. So I would not put you through it. Make sure that you decide your branding and your name and figure out if that domain is available, and just go and buy that right away. It will probably set you back, I guess, $30 or $40 a year. Step number 3 is to actually install WordPress. So WordPress is basically the content management system that you will use, which is going to be your backend to the website that people see on the world, right? And why you need it? Because it's the best platform out there to be managing your content. Yes, if you're tech savvy, you can create your own CMS and you can do all the jazzy things that you want. But I'm assuming that you're here because you're not. You're probably overwhelmed with the tech side of blogging, which I totally was, and I totally understand. If you are, it takes a while, but it's not rocket science. You'll figure it out, okay? Once you're done with your niche, with your domain, with your hosting plan, and with installing WordPress comes now the next, which is step 4, which is installing a theme. Now, I want to talk about how important it is to not get stuck on this step. And I know, as someone who is a perfectionist herself, especially in the beginning of my blogging journey, I obsessed over it. I was so obsessed about making my theme look pretty and I don't know, with unicorns and everything. But then the thing is, if no one is really reading your blog at the beginning, it doesn't matter how amazing and beautiful your website is. And to be honest, there are billions of blogs out there. So for you to stand out, it is gonna take more than just a pretty theme. Yes, a pretty theme will help you differentiate your branding and get people to associate with you, but that's not what they're coming to your blog for. They're coming to your blog to read your content, to see what is the kind of content that you put out, to see your tips, to see your tutorials, to see your recipes, reviews, whatever it is that you're doing with your blog. So make sure not to obsess over this. Find a cheap theme which fits your budget, anything between $50 to $100. You can look at Envato, you can look at Creative Market, you can look at Thrive themes. There are lots of themes that are in the market that you can actually just pick and go and install on your WordPress account and get started right away. And that's what we want for you. You don't want to waste time figuring out which theme is perfect for you. This is something that you can always do in the end when you start to make more money with your blog and you have a bigger budget and you can actually you have the luxury to spend more money on your blog. Then I would go ahead and upgrade your theme. So when I first started out with my travel blog, I was using Soledad theme, which is a magazine theme, which I then moved on towards Divi, which I think is also a very easy theme to begin with. So you can use Soledad, you can use Divi. I would not really recommend Soledad because I think at some point it really slowed my blog down and it wasn't this kind of speed that I needed for my blog. So I skipped to Divi, which is basically also a very easy drag and drop theme with tons of premium templates. So if you're just starting out and you want to have a lot of flexibility and customization options when it comes to your theme, then I would actually recommend sticking to Divi and getting the one-site purchase, which I think is about $80 to $100. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I will link it down in my show notes. I'm now using Genesis framework on my second website, which is digitalempires.co. It's primarily for the speed. So now that I've been in this game for a while, I realize how important it is to have a fast blog and to have amazing hosting. But of course, at the beginning, these things don't matter much because you're just getting started and you want to get your blog off the ground as fast as possible. Because it takes a long time to be found and to be discovered and to actually grow your audience, right? So step number 5 is to pick the right social media accounts. Now, don't worry if all of your social media accounts are not available on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, everywhere and anywhere that you want to be. Don't stress about it. Just see that most of your social media accounts are available and then make some tweaks. Put an underscore in there, put a hyphen, put a number, whatever it takes. Try to make it as easy as possible, of course. And if your original brand name or your blog name is available, there's nothing better than that. So I would actually spend some time here in step 5 and see which of these social media accounts are available, start these social media accounts, start promoting things, and basically get a hang of social media to begin with. Because let's be honest here, blogging is not what it used to be a decade ago. You cannot just write from one remote corner of the world and make tons of money with no past experience in it as of now, because there are billions of blogs. You need to be able to differentiate, connect with your audience, and evolve the way they're evolving. And for this to know and hear and believe and see your people, you actually need to be in the right places. So you don't have to be everywhere. You can pick maybe 2 or 3 social media accounts to begin with, let's say, depending on your niche and depending on how comfortable you are with which channel. So if you're really comfortable with doing Instagram stories and videos and photos, then go ahead with Instagram. If you like Facebook more and if you think you have more friends and a bigger community on Facebook, start with Facebook. Do things that are easy for you. Don't try to do everything at the same time, which is super difficult because it's going to get you feeling really, really overwhelmed, and then you're going to give up on your blog completely, and we don't want that to happen, right? Now that you actually have a blog set up, you've probably maybe created your first blog post, and you're thinking, okay, so I've created my first blog post, I've done all of this massive setup and headache, and I've done all of this. How the heck do I actually go ahead and get people? Now, this is where promotion comes in place. And obviously, the first places that you will go to promote your blog are going to be social media accounts, right? And take it from me, from someone who took a really long time to grow their social media following. And then once I figured it out, it grew pretty fast. So it takes a while. It takes a while to build your audience, and I'm not going to tell you that it's going to happen overnight, because it won't. And if you're expecting that in 6 months from now, you're going to be a 5 or a 6-figure blogger, you might as well give up now completely. Unless you can do it full time, invest a lot of money in learning and in tools, and well, then you have a chance. So next step, now that you have set up your blog, you have a pretty theme installed, you have a domain, you have a host, you have social media accounts, you're promoting it, you're writing it, all of that jazz is going. You're probably thinking now, how the heck do I make money from my blog, right? So like, what's the easiest way to get started to make money? There is a certain time and place to actually start with monetizing. And at the beginning, when you're just kind of getting your footing around how to write blog posts and how to create engaging content and how to make sure people are actually coming and commenting and engaging with your content, it's going to be really hard to think about also monetization options. So if it's really important for you and you are super desperate to like start fast, desperate is the wrong word. If you're super keen to start with monetization, which I was with my second blog, because I knew that I had done 6 million things wrong with my first blog. So I knew that I had to make money with my second blog. Otherwise, it was going to be a total bust, and there was no way that I could actually think of a career being a full-time blogger, which I do now. How cool is that? So if you're thinking of monetizing your blog, step 7 is to actually search and join affiliate marketing networks. Now, affiliate marketing networks are essentially networks that are kind of the marketplace or the middleman between you and a brand or a product. Okay, so think about, for example, if you're in travel and you use booking.com a lot, then you can find the booking.com affiliate program through these affiliate marketing programs. And the reason why I tell you to start with these channels or marketplaces is that it's easier to find programs and easier to get accepted instead of applying one-on-one for individual programs. Now, a lot of programs such as Skyscanner, when you apply one-on-one, you need to meet a lot of criteria, which you probably won't at the beginning. Right? Look for the programs in your niche that make sense, that you could actually include naturally in your content, that you could create reviews on, that you could actually write about, that you could show to your social media fans, and get started on joining them right away. Step number 8 is to join advertising networks. Now, as a new blogger, I would actually recommend you to stop and really think about when you want to join ad networks. Now, the reason why I say it is because, especially at the beginning, when you don't have a lot of content, when you don't have a lot of audience, it makes zero sense for you to be monetizing your audience. Okay, so if you have less than 5,000 page views a month, you shouldn't even be thinking about getting an ad network, whether it's Google AdSense or Ezoic or Monumetric or anything else that might come up in the next couple of months. You really need to take a step back and think, is this the right time for me to monetize my blog? Do I really want to have ads which are probably going to make me $5 a month when I don't even have an audience of 5,000 people? So I would actually wait. In fact, I think I waited until I had about 20 to 30 blog posts on my travel blog, and I had about 7 to 10,000 page views to start monetizing with Google AdSense. And even then, I was making probably $25 or $30 a month, which was ridiculous. It didn't even cover the cost of my hosting and my marketing tools and things like that, right? But of course, you have to start somewhere, and I would recommend you to join an advertising network. Just wait until you have a decent amount of content, and definitely make sure that you follow all of the policies and requirements of each and every advertising network. They might differ for every advertising network. Step number 9 is to collaborate with other bloggers and get guest posts or guest podcasts, whatever it is that is your choice of collaboration. And the reason why I think it's so important is that blogging can be a really lonely world, okay? You can be sitting in one corner of the world, just typing away ferociously on your laptop and never really meeting people in real life. And now, of course, you don't have to meet the people in your real life to collaborate, but it doesn't hurt to reach out to bloggers who have a similar or a slightly bigger level of audience that you're looking for. They could be in a different niche too. And I think it actually helps a lot if you cross-collaborate with people from different niches, because it exposes you to a different kind of audience, an audience that you didn't even know that you could tap with your particular content. So I would actually reach out to people to see if they will accept guest posts, guest interviews, see if they would come onto your social media group, to see if they would come onto your Facebook group to do a live discussion, a live interview. There are so many different things that you can do. The last step, which is the most important step, once you have figured out step 1 to 9, is to start an email list. And this is going to affect your income in such a massive way, especially if you don't have a lot of traffic, especially if you don't do a lot of sponsorships and brand deals and all of that, which no one does at the beginning. So trust me on this, you need to start an email list as soon as you can. Ideally, I would wait until I have 20 to 30 blog posts so that people have something to subscribe for. If they've only ever read one blog post from you, chances are they're not going to sign up for your blog because they don't know what you're about. They don't know who your audience is. You haven't created a sense of community. So in order to get people to come and actually sign up on your email list, you either need to be offering them a freebie, some kind of a checklist, blueprint, whatever, or you need to be offering them something special. So a discount or a coupon code, or I don't know, special deals, anything and everything, but you need to be offering them something to sign up, because emails are literally money makers for bloggers. So if you have a large email list, you have so much potential, especially if you have an engaged email list in your niche, because tomorrow when you promote other products through affiliate marketing or through just joint collaborations, or if you actually launch your own digital product or service, or even your physical product or service, you already have a list of people to send your promotions to. The easiest way to start is to use MailChimp or MailerLite, which are both free until 1,000 and 2,000 people, I think, which is great for when you're just starting out and you don't really know how to use an email marketing tool and how exactly to send out newsletters and how to do automations and tags and all of that. But once your audience grows a bit and you probably have hit the first 1,000 subscribers, it's probably much more sensible for you to upgrade to something like ConvertKit or one of these more advanced tools which actually have advanced capabilities and are also really easy to use. So I personally use ConvertKit and I find it so easy to use and create visual funnels. So I know that this was a long video and I shared so much with you, but I wish that I knew all of these things before I started blogging, and I hope that if you follow these 10 steps, you would have a much smoother ride than I did at the beginning. If you would like more tips on how to actually do this step by step, I would encourage you to sign up for my Build Your Empire Toolkit. The link is down below in the video, and there you will have my Blogging for Beginners course, which you can go step by step and actually have all of the information I shared, all of the links, everything that you need to start your blog and make money from it, including top affiliate marketing networks that I use, especially as a travel blogger and a business blogger. So you can just click and get started on it right away. I also have a couple of other freebies that you can check out in the links below. If you like this video, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.